here's our completely overgrown project. Believe it or not, all this right here, this was just like that last year. But we mulched all this so we could have a nice little landing around the watering hole. Same thing with about 20 acres up that way. Complete thinning job. Rolled in here yesterday, and I'll show you what we did with the Prime Tech and the Mechalec, and we're going to get rolling. I ran the mulcher head a little bit on the mech on this side. We got a creek in the middle. We had to time this just right so that it's not dry out in the center and it's not a complete mud bog, and we're borderline on the mud bogness. This is probably 50 years of growth. Yeah, she's thick out there. I got a couple windrows piled up for the Mechalec, just stuff, or for the Prime Tech, stuff I just pulled out. Set on the side. This stuff here, this stuff there. Mulch out there is thick. We've got a creek coming in over there that was dug with a backhoe, but then it got blocked off because a tree fell down. It redirected to this creek, so we have a mud bog right in the center we didn't know about. But you know, it is what it is. We'll go ahead and got about 3 acres total of this. Might have knocked out one yesterday. When I say it's thick, it's thick. Well, I feel like we're making a little bit of a dent here today. A little bit narrower on this side. I feel like we're getting more done just going farther. The camera fell off up there, and I shit you not, those new chains, that magnet caught it. It was hanging on the mulcher head chains. Must have just knocked it off.
there's like a really a dam right there, but just a waterfall. Rock. Yeah. Back it up or up here. Pressure over that one right here. You want to see the big bit? Oh, because it's okay. All those times with the 080 and the tank grapple, always want to have a fix on it, doing stuff like this. You can use it as a rake, brush rake and all that. It's pretty slick. And I can dig with it. Definitely glad to have everything. That's why I did a little sketchy. Oh, we can go do that demo tomorrow and get that stuff on the working hard on this stuff. He said, yeah, it's going to be tomorrow. Any technical rep. Here you go, here's a piece of river tile. I don't know, it just looks like, yeah, it was blocking up the whole stream right there. Just looks like junk. No, maybe at one point. This feels more like roots trying to grow across the creek, blocking it all up right there. She's open. Yeah. Huh.
I'd say this narrowed up a little bit down here. How wide was it up there at the start by the road? Go to the second creek. Goes down to 1. Yeah. Half as wide right here, just choked her down. Fence line right there. Recognize this? This is that bridge that we fixed back in there. I'm finally getting to do this portion of the job, which I thought we were going to do first, but finally getting around to it. Timed it just right. Well, I'd say the creek has been coming through this particular spot for a while. It's got that little bit of erosion going. Little crater. Unless you're real good, you could have got the stuff out the bottom there with the prime deck. Well, we're wrapping this one up. Again, this is a rehabilitation project, a couple acres of willow trees that haven't been touched or groomed or anything in over 50 years. And willow trees, if you don't know, they're not very strong. They can't hold their own weight to start off with, let alone storm damage. And last year, storms came in thick with some snow in this area and crushed all these trees. And we left what we could of the straight ones, and that wasn't too many. But where we're working now is the border of the property. We left this for last, mainly so that it was a little bit of a dust barrier for any of the cars going by on this gravel road, which ironically are dusting us out a little bit when they zoom by. But also noise cancellation and a shield barrier for any possible debris that never really happens, but you never know. Could fly out there and possibly hit a car. We don't want that. But removing this last little bit, we have to do it to complete the job. But this also opens up viewership from the neighbors to look in to see what the project's got going on. Now, me personally, if I see an overgrown piece of property, I think, man, someone needs to get on that. That's a big fire danger, and especially with this single lane gravel road that goes right alongside this property. Both sides of it, the gravel road separates, it's a property line for this one and the neighbors. The neighbors looks just like this, so at least there's a little bit of a buffer and a friendlier zone over here so that anybody possibly having to fight a fire has got somewhere to run if they start to lose that battle. But it also has two little Chintzy Creek crossings for man-made creeks for this irrigation district. And these creeks, the first one right next to the mech, that has a 4-foot culvert, and it's rotted out 2/3 of the bottom of it. Water runs down the road, washes out the top of it. We actually had to fix it the last time we were here. It was more of we're in the neighborhood doing this mulching project up the hill. We might as well fix up the road. Spent a couple hours trying to help the neighbors. Thought we were doing something nice. If anything, it makes us feel better about crossing it, towing the trailers. Personally, don't like towing across it, let alone, I don't even really like driving across those little crossings. The other one's a little cattle guard. But this creek, number one, right in front of the prime, this one flows decent. You could jump over it without even trying. It's a small little water ditch. And there is one over on the other side. You can kind of see where the mech was over there zipping around a little bit. And that one definitely was man-made. 100%. That one's guaranteed. And I'll tell you why. It's because right in front of the Prime Tech there it's all cut in with straight edges. So that's a backhoe or an excavator. You can see the shadow of it back there. Now willow trees tipped over and blocked that thing up. And it took this creek years to find its way over to creek number one. And in the process of doing that, it turned this whole area between us and the creek, it turned into swampland because it was just percolating through the ground and it wasn't actually flowing. So that's why nobody wanted to do anything to this property the last 10, 15 years. They thought it was swampland. But no, it's turned out that the ditches were just clogged up because of these willow trees and poor management. So when you see this neighbor, I'm not going to show her name, I'm going to try to block out her face when she shows up, you'll see why she's throwing a fit, and I just explained, we just made the situation way better because stuff can flow.
Irene, I wish that you could be here. The apple trees have grown to be so tall. It's been years and tears between our time together. Little children running in the hall. I went looking for the reasons in the darkness. Could I really be that kind of man? And I think that I was taking you for granted. I'm I'm afraid that might be who I am. Well, I came here to explain, but the car broke down again, and I walked home still falling all to pieces. I guess you never knew.
As I was leaving, you could see in the mirror, I have the PrimeTech loaded up. I am ready to leave. I am happy with this job site. I've been wanting to mulch this particular part of this property for the last 2 years, and we finally got the green light on it, and I honestly think it looks fantastic. But this little red truck came pulling up aggressive. They didn't put their blinker on or nothing, and drove right up the side of my truck. As I was leaving, I thought, what in the world? Normally, you can tell what kind of a cat they are when they pull up. If they're driving slow and hop out with a smile, usually means they're okay. But if they run up to you aggressive with their truck, car, or whatever, and get out kind of mean, it's not going to be good. This gal got out of her truck and she said, "Who did all this work?" And I said, "Who's asking?" She said, "Fish and Wildlife." And I said, "Really?" She said, "I'm a volunteer for Fish and Wildlife." And then I proceeded to film a little bit of her, so hopefully you guys enjoy this.
Gotta get you on film because I gotta see what I'm saying.
My name is
Neighborhood Karen.
just for 25 years, and this is not copacetic. It's was a riparian area. No surveys were done.
Are you
None.
sure?
No bird surveys.
And you're a volunteer?
No raptor surveys.
A velociraptor?
Yeah.
What?
And the name of your company?
Hoss.
Haas.
Hoss.
And you're in the phone book.
Phone book.
I mean,
phone books around?
Internet.
Look it up. Hoss.
Okay. I'm gonna let them know right now.
Hey.
I think it's funny.
You know what I don't appreciate? Hey.
There's a time of year to do
No.
this.
This part will forever frustrate me because at this point I thought she was done and was going to leave. So I put my phone down, and then she came over and she put her foot on the, it's not that big a deal, but she still put her foot on the step of my truck, which that's a big no-no. Don't do that. And then she started cussing at me, and I did not get that on film. So you're going to have to just call me out on that for being a moron and not filming her do that. But take my word, she dropped a couple F-bombs at me, and yeah, but I filmed a little bit more.
50 years. We're real big on the fire danger.
There's a time of
Fire
year to do
danger.
this, and
Hey,
the-
listen.
my-
Listen.
The job looked great, didn't it? I thought it looked fantastic. I was so excited when we finally got to tackle that part of this project. We've been working that property for those owners for the last, 2-3 years. It's been a while, just doing it section by section when timing allows and Mother Nature, of course. But I did not expect on our victory lap after tackling the last piece of this puzzle that somebody was going to come up to us, not only cuss at me, but put her foot on my truck. Brand new truck. No matter what year the truck was. Don't put your foot on somebody's truck, ever. Cuss me out. Give me a big old ration of BS because we maintained the property. Took care of the storm damage. Fixed it all up. Creeks are back to flowing like they should. I don't care if it's my property or another property we're working on. I like to take care of that underbrush. And I like it so that the fire danger is very minimal for even if it's a bare property that doesn't have any structures on it and it's just forest land. Get that fire danger down. That way it doesn't burn up the next neighborhood. Same thing goes for the creeks and stuff. I got ditches and culverts and stuff all over my property for drainage so it doesn't erode my property. It doesn't just destroy everything. And it can go right down to the pond. It can go out to the next pond and Mother Nature can do its thing. I don't want to try and go in and destroy a property. They ain't our thing. We left this nice and smooth. All the creeks are back flowing. It's no longer a marsh pit, and I think it looks fantastic. But I'll tell you what, if anybody says I didn't film enough of that gal knocking on the door of my truck, giving me all that BS, you try to leave a job in an excellent attitude, and somebody speed up to the side of your truck and then start yelling at you and cussing at you. I'm pretty proud of myself, honestly, for pulling out my phone. I've always wanted to do that, but I didn't know how that situation was going to unfold. Nevertheless, I actually do have a buddy that knows the head of Fish and Wildlife, and he put the word out. and that gal was there. Just volunteer, I believe, for her attitude. She was overstepping her bounds big time. That's not a professional way to handle it. I tried to just BS back with her. And yeah, anyway. But nothing ever came of it. And I was kind of scared to leave the Mechalek there for fear that she might, try to do something to it because her attitude was so awesome. I don't know if she was going to stop at verbal abuse or if she was just going to head on to physical damage to property. But she would have to act on her own in order to trespass legally, obviously, no matter who you are, without permission or paperwork to proceed onto private property. You can't do nothing. But I did come back 3-4 hours later after taking the Prime Tech out of there. Let myself cool down a little bit because I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't film the next cow, but there was literally the next door neighbor that on the other side of that gravel road, she wanted her property done up the same way. But then all the neighbors started talking and she turned on us. And so I had to show her the creeks flowing and what happened over time. Mother Nature blocking up these man-made ditches. It was unbelievable. That I was so happy to finish that job just because I was stoked for the home or for the property owners. But then all the neighbors coming out of the woodworks. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. See you on the next one. If you got Karen stories like this or any videos, comment it below. And if you do have videos on it, I wouldn't mind posting them on here just because, man, what in the world's wrong with the people? Emails in the description below. We'll see you guys later.